And now, ladies and gentlemen of the old world, we're back in business once again with a showdown between the Warriors of Chaos, who shall be led by ARCHAON the Often Chosen. And today, my friends, we face off against King of the Dead and his dreaded Norscans, who shall be led by Throg the Troll King and 2 feral mammoths. So it should be quite a bit of fun. Now, as far as my build goes in the front line, you guys have pretty much caught on to this by now, but I really do like using Spawn. So the entire front line is going to be Marauders into the Sunset, backed up by Chaos Spawn. Now, Spawn are just great utility in this matchup. With 160 weapon strength, they can burn through Skin Wolves, they can burn through the infantry, the Marauders, Berserkers, a little bit slow against champions, but nonetheless, these guys are just powerhouses. On top of that, they have really good mass, so if you are facing off against Mammoths, you can actually pull the Chaos Spawn and block the Mammoths from really doing a ton of damage to things you want to protect. So Spawn, pretty solid. 3 of those bad boys. It is going to be ARCHAON the Ever Chosen with Burning Head and Flaming Sword of Ruin. We have 3 groups of Marauder Horsemen to poke down Mammoths and other big threats. And we do have an ever sneaky scheme here in the trees. We do have some Chaos Knights with the Sword and Shield for sustained combat against Hounds and things like that. And some Chaos Warhounds with Poison. So basically my plan is to leave the Chaos Warhounds with Poison here, make it look like I forgot about them, and then pounce on King with the Chaos Knights once he tries to get them. That's pretty much it. So for King's army, he does have 2 groups of Norscan Ice Wolves, the Beasts of Tashnar as well, so plenty of skirmishing. That is very good against my horsemen if they can catch them. Front line is going to be Marauders, Skin Wolf Werekin, Anti-Large there, quite good against Famir and Chaggets, things like that, and ARCHAON. A Feral Mammoth, 2 of those in total, the Miststalkers, and it is going to be the classic Deathcaster because Buna is very, very good against Chaos. With Buna, you can take down Chaos Knights, you can take down Lords with Spirit Leech. It provides a lot of utility against the very expensive units on the Chaos roster, so we will see how this goes. So I do pop the Knights out a little bit early, but I don't think he noticed, which was good. So the Hounds do come over here. We get the ultimate pounce. The Chaos Knights emerge from the trees and get a collapsing charge here against the Norscan Ice Wolves, many of which will fall here. And they're expensive. You know, they cost 650 and are relatively low model count compared to regular Hounds. So we get a good pick here. Our Poison Hounds as well are able to really follow up. And that's going to be a very punishing engagement here. So we should be A-okay. So there the Norscan Ice Wolves go quietly into the good night. Marauders and Spawn are going to be pushing into the distance, preparing to fight in the front line. And the thing is like Mammoths are obviously good against Marauders, but they're not going to be so good against Spawn. So in many ways, I feel like the frontline engagement should be quite solid. Now, this is really big here. We have corralled King's mobile harass force, which means that our Marauder Horsemen in the back are going to be pretty much 100% free. Now, those Hounds will come back, and King will have a second attempt to try and get into my back line. But for now, you can see the Javelins are throwing quite happily here. Flaming Sword of Ruin is going to be going down from ARCHAON to give some fire damage, which is very helpful against Throg, and also does imbue the Horsemen when they're in the effect aura, but they're not. A little bit of a mistake there. But on the far side, you can see the Mammoth is doing battle with the Spawn and whatnot, and it's a bit of a wash there, but you can see how quickly the Ice Arm Marauders are being taken apart by the Weird Spawn. I mean, it is some seriously brutal damage up with these Spawn. Certainly tossing those Ice Arm Marauders into another dimension, hopefully not Age of Sigmar for their sake. And the front line is just Marauders on Marauders. The Spawn here are getting worked down because he does have the Miststalkers there. And over here we do have this big flank engagement. So the Chaos Knights are fighting with the Dragon Ogre Shaggets. Standard Die is active, giving a nice buff to melee defense of those bad boys. And we are doing pretty well in this engagement. Bounce Fire is still even because the Mammoths are both kind of healthy, to be honest. And my Spawn are getting worn down here. This engagement actually going a little bit badly. But we are able to rampage the big old Mammoth. You can see here the 27 missile strength of the Marauders. Certainly not doing terrible. And yeah, we're really getting there. So again, Chaos Knights basically just being used as a control unit, though they are being inflicted with Spirit Leeches and Bunas. I think there was a Buna on them and a Spirit Leech, but they are able to really clean up the Norscan Ice Wolves. We still do have the Summoners of Rage, plus ARCHAON. ARCHAON is certainly no joke. Slayer of Kings is activated, 844 for the weapon strength, 97 charge bonus, but now we get caught in a little bit of a pickle here. Actually a bad situation. If King were to turn Throg and get a Frostbite on ARCHAON before I can escape, that could be really bad, but I do see it coming and I'm able to run away there, which is quite nice, because otherwise Werekin, Famir, and all of those guys beating on ARCHAON would be very, very tough. Also, this is a bit rough because, you know, it's a lot of powerful Norscan assets here. I have some Hounds and, of course, the Dragon Ogres. ARCHAON coming in and trying to use his fire damage, so I do imbue fire. I'm going to go after the Werekin. Werekin is weak to fire, so you'll see... Man, look at the damage! That was brutal! That was like 40% HP on the Skin Wolf Werekin right there. He just gets whomped on by the Ever Chosen. And now, the Bounce of Power is still staying even, though. You can see my Dragon Ogres are really taking a beating. My Chaos Knights are quite injured, and 2 units of Spawn have effectively been deleted, so... Still a very scrappy game indeed, and I do have my Skirmish Corps though. Marauder Horsemen are all more or less in good shape with 40 to 100%, kind of in that range of ammunition, so we're doing okay. One Mammoth is fully broken though, and like I said, Spawn have really good DPS, even against big targets, so the Spawn are pretty much able to single-handedly take down that Feral Mammoth, which is quite nice. But here we have a scary Norscan Death Star. We do have Throg, we have the Deathcaster, we do also have the Famir, and those are some really, really tough units to bring down. Granted, I think with the Kite and with the Weird Spawn coming in, the Weird Spawn will really help against Miststalkers because they're 120 armor, or 133 actually, damn. The Skinwolf Werekin does have an armor buff, so he's going to be buffing them up. Will be brought down a little bit lower to 103. I suppose it's not that big of a difference, but we are able to get the fight we want here. Now, ARCHAON is stuck in a bit of a scary duel versus Throg and the Werekin, but the Werekin is very, very beat up, and we do also have some Dragon Ogres nearby with their big anti-large. Should be able to help the Everchosen succeed, but mainly with ARCHAON, I'm just trying to get rid of the Werekin, saving Throg for last because this is not good. Frostbite and anti-large all over the place. And here, I made a mistake. I accidentally charged the Mammoth because I thought it was wavering, but it was not. So I charge in, and we weren't able to break it, and now I'm paying the Troll Toll as the Beast of Tashnar do come back onto the battlefield. Now back here, Throg and the Werekin still regenerating, so every second I'm not able to finish those guys is a big problem. Here we do drop the Flaming Sword of Ruin once again, imbuing fire damage on our characters here in our spawn, which will make them hit super, super hard here against the Skinwolf Werekin. That damn Mammoth just won't break, but I figured, hey, ARCHAON's on vacation. Let's pull him over here. He's not an anti-large specialist, but 490 weapon strength is 490 weapon strength, and that Mammoth is getting pounded pretty hard by the thunderous charge of these apocalyptic Knights of Chaos. And down goes the Feral Manscore's leadership to 2. Might be breaking here in a second with a couple more attacks. And Throg is really just stuck fighting Spawn, and that's why Spawn are just so good. Such a roadblock unit, high mass, really good staying power, and against like factions like Norsca that have Mammoths and a ton of shock damage on the battlefield, I think it's super important. So, here we go. Feral Mammoth is broken. Chaos Knight's able to slap the base on that bad boy. Now we basically just go for a full surround. I'm just charging in and out with the Marauder Horsemen, trying to keep Throg and the Werekin from escaping and getting on the better targets, because here they're in the grind, and it buys me time to kill the Shaman Sorcerer, who unfortunately has used his last wind of magic, so he was able to get the Spirit Leech off, but yeah, we're able to bring him down. He's at 0 leadership right now, 14, kind of stabilizing, but with that very, very poor defensive stats, the weird spawn, especially ARCHAON, should be able to come in and no-scope this guy. So ARCHAON charges in and is able to put him down to 730. No, he actually missed the attack, but a break is a break. That's all we need. We have Hounds, we have Marauders. We should be able to chase him. Now Throg Daddy's coming. Big Papa Throg. Going to be getting in there, trying to get on ARCHAON, and certainly is good against ARCHAON, but ARCHAON with fire damage can absolutely manhandle Throg in combat. His stats are quite insane. I mean, look at this right now. 78, 84, 530. Those are just with the buffs right there. And yeah, you can see Throg's HP is getting chunked down rapidly, which is going to trigger leadership issues. And from there, that is going to be all she wrote for the Troll King, as Everchosen is certainly going to be serving him up to corn. Nice and good like. And there goes the Werekin. So well played, King. It's a fun game. Back and forth for sure. I think the biggest thing was the initial skirmish. The fact that we were able to punish the Hounds so badly was a big, big play in that game. Because, you know, other than that, I mean, if the Hounds had been able to pressure our back line, I would have had to be much more defensive. My Horsemen wouldn't have been getting the effective ammunition usage on the Mammoths, which would have made them tough to bring down. It's kind of a cascading cycle of effects, right? But I really do like this build. Honestly, I feel like Chaos in almost every matchup, except maybe against like High Elves, and maybe again not against High Elves, maybe not against... There's a couple other factions, but I feel like Spawn Rushers are almost good in every matchup with Chaos, almost. There's a few in which I think they're pretty subpar. Probably High Elves would be one because of Silver and Guard, their armor plus their anti-large, and the advent of all the missiles they can bring. Like, you know, it's tricky, but they're surprisingly good against monsters and SEMs too. If people are coming in with like Phoenixes, like the Spawn can actually beat the base on them. So yeah, there's a couple matchups. I'd have to think about it a little bit, but I feel like Spawn are really good. A really good anchor piece that allows you to win the front line. Marauders are always good. Chaos Knights did great, and the Dragon Ogres were, you know, they did their thing. They were stuck in some hard fights, and they still got some kills. So, well played to King of the Dead. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this Chaos vs. Norsca showdown. And guys, we will most certainly be back with more content soon. You guys take care and stay safe.